All right. Welcome back to a Reverend Talesworth Hour of Power. Does it sound convincing? Is it good? Is it good? No, seriously, I had the most amazing experience this weekend. I went to New York for exactly 24 hours. 24 hours. I arrived in Manhattan at 11 p.m. on Saturday after being at the conference for District 18 from ungodly o'clock in the morning until about 6:30. Now I had planned to leave at like 5:30. So when the world champion of public speaking comes over and goes, "Hey, listen, do you guys want to come and pick my brain for an hour?" It's like, why do you tempt me, Satan? Why? So of course I sat through his amazing presentation. Dhananjaya, amazing job. And just a little side note, fun fact. He shook my hand and was like, "Oh, you're the guy with the fish." Tap, 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 tap. I was like, "Ooh, that's a good sign when the world champion knows who you are." And a speech he really wouldn't know unless he's been stalking my website. Anyway, a lot of fun at the conference, met a ton of cool people. If anybody remembers Mandy, she was so sweet. She saved a seat for me right up into the contest. I sat between her and Janita, who did a wonderful job. Good job, ladies. Um, the lady who won, no, she was really good. She wasn't as funny as I was, but I guess it wasn't a humorous contest. It was an evaluation. Oops, my bad. But I couldn't be persuaded to have a dark moment because I knew from the moment I left a private conference with the world champion of public speaking, I was jetted off to the fantastic state of New York. I went to Manhattan. I had pizza the size of my head. It was incredible. A funny thing I have to tell my friend Jonas. He says to me, "Hey Sean, you still dreading out your hair?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm still dreading out my hair." And he's like, "You'd be a perfect stoner." It's like, where does he get that impression? Anyway, he thought I'd be great for a part, so he called me up. I landed in Manhattan. I was lost. I was scared. There were no bathrooms. You know what the bathrooms look like in New York? Fuck you. Go find your home. You know, there's nothing in the subways or the train terminals. If you're lucky, you get to Chipotle like I did. You pay $11 for a burrito and you're happy to do it. So you can urinate. And not on the side of a building. But I gotta tell a funny one on my friend real quick. He says, "Hey man, I think you'd be great for this commercial. Why don't you go ahead and send me a headshot?" So I sent him a headshot that looks like this. And he sends back a real snarky text, "Yo, dude, without the shades." I'm like, all right, man. So I'm in the commercial on Sunday, and I spend 95% of the commercial like this in shades. Just telling you a funny one. No, but it was a surreal experience, and I loved it, and it was. I mean, it was. I tell you what it was. We were shooting one scene, and I've got like one line in the commercial. I mean, come on, it's 30 seconds. I mean, the fact that I'm in the commercial, I'm super grateful for. The fact that I have a line and an interaction with other people is just. Oh. So there are two lines in this one scene, and I won't go into details, but just say that we had a lot of things going on, a lot of technical things that had to be coordinated within a fraction of an hour. We had to get people fed. He's got an amazing assistant, admin, Kiva the Diva, and she just busted ass left and right. Planet Harlan Entertainment, just amazing. I mean, before I was even hungry, I was fed. So we're doing this one scene, and it's two lines, and I tell you, for something that's going to wind up being 10 seconds, maybe five, we spent a good part of 2 hours perfecting this one. And when you really come to it, it's almost like the punchline of the whole thing. Again, I can't go into detail. Super secret. I'm going to get punched in the nuts for what I've said already. So I'm not going to edit this because, life is too short. This is too cherished. I have a grandson to think about, okay? I've got a grandson who needs integrity. And he's going to look around and he's going to have days where he's fucking up. And he's going to say, "Damn, Grandpa, you're dead." Because you did a lot of drugs. I mean, no, Grandpa, you stuck to weed and you lived to be a ripe old man. So how did you deal with the off days? And I'll go, I don't remember who you are. I'm just kidding. No, he'll go onto YouTube, and my great great grandchildren will go onto YouTube, and they'll be able to download this very update sermon, and they'll be able to see that we all make mistakes, and it's not how many times you make mistakes; it's how many times you rebound from those mistakes. And I'm not really big on sports analogies, but I tell you what I did. I did a science project in middle school. It was on bounce and elasticity. And I took a bunch of sport balls, tennis balls, golf ball, lacrosse ball, softball, baseball, I don't know, rubber ball, super bounce ball. I had like 10 or 12 of these little bastards. And I dropped them from the same height. I dropped them from like 3 feet. And then I would measure how far they bounced. So the golf ball was, the harder balls did well on the hard floors that we did. But I tell you, the best ball was actually the lacrosse ball. And at the center of this solid rubber ball, I believe, is a little square of metal. And my friend explained to me, now he could be lying to me, it could just be solid rubber. I don't give a shit. That metal ball that metal core just resists any change. Now the rubber adapts. See, that's the thing. If you take a glass and drop it from 2 feet, it'll shatter. I know, I broke my favorite coffee mug like 2 weeks ago. Wanted to punch myself in the nuts, I'm not going to lie. But when you drop a red rubber ball, it bounces. Now, it doesn't bounce up to the original height, and that's an important thing of life, because we don't always bounce up back to where we were. It's very hard to bounce back to where you were. But you will bounce back, and you'll bounce back to where you need to be. And that's what I've learned about life, is that every time my feet get pulled out from under me, every time the rug collapses from underneath, I still get back to a point where I can continue on with the journey. Because think about it. I think Darren LaCroix said, if you fall on your face, at least you're 5 feet farther than you were before. Well, he's a short guy. I mean, I forgive him. No, I'm just messing with him. But I mean, it's really important to understand that mistakes are part of life. We try to give people this pristine statue, a perfect statue without a muscle out of place, without a roll that isn't intended for curvaceous seduction. There is perfection, and it's like that's not how it is. It's not how it is. Our lives are not immaculate perspectives. They are mosaics. A friend of mine recently posted on Facebook, she was like, people can't love broken people. Senator Schaefer said, broken people might not be able to love. And I said to her, you have a choice to make. You can either mourn for the cup you used to have, or you can take out a hammer and smash it up into smaller pieces and make a new mosaic out of those pieces. And that's the point of the journey. And I say to you, great, 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 great grandchild, it's going to be cool, like the whole Tony Stark thing. You should watch Iron Man just so you understand what's going on right here. You will make mistakes. You will fail. You will go to try. You will reach for the tallest mountain, the highest tree. And you will fall and you will fail. You will come in second in an evaluation contest. Were those judges out of their mind? What I mean to say is I'm very grateful to be in the contest. I had a wonderful time, and even if I didn't get a trophy, imperfection hurts. Try to avoid it as much as possible, but it's going to happen. And the more you avoid it, the harder it hits you. It's the truth. The more you're perfect, the harder it hurts when you fall. I wouldn't have cried when my precious moments coffee mug shattered into a new wind chime if I still had my nice black Venom suit Spider-Man mug I got from Universal Studios. But that's gone. See, when I dropped that mug, I didn't just mourn that mug. I mourned my Spider-Man mug, and I mourned the $250,000 home that was foreclosed on, and the shitty $600 a month apartment that I was evicted from, and the first car repossession, and the second car repossession, and that job loss, and that job loss, and the touch of homelessness, and thank God for friends' couches. Oy. You know, I was basically without food, and out of nowhere, a Sabra representative handed me a case of hummus. I lived on hummus for about a week, and that was the lowest point in my life. And it's really hard when you don't have the basic necessities. But you know what? Great grandpa survived, and so will you. And so will you. If I could only tell you one thing, it is this: to be patient, especially with yourself. A wise man, Fritz Perls, once said, I am not in this world to live up to your expectations. You are not in this world to live up to mine. I do my thing and you do your thing, and if by chance we meet, it is perfect. But if not, it cannot be helped. It's called the Gestalt prayer or what have you, but he was big on asking people to stop and speak to yourself as you would speak to your weakest friend. And I don't say that with meanness or cruelness or any sarcasm. When I say the weakest friend, you know the person in your life right now that is on the edge. All you need to do is call them up and call them about 15 foul words inside of 30 minutes, and you're pretty sure in a day or two they'll take their own life. I don't say it with meanness, I say it with sobriety. Imagine that friend called you and just said, please, could you listen to me for 5 minutes? What would you say? See, I have a feeling I know what you would say. And don't tell me if I'm wrong, okay? I don't want to know. But I think you would say to your friend, you'd say, hey, Sean, listen. Life has kicked you in the balls right now. I get that. I get that. Trust me, man, it kicks me in the balls all the time. And you've just got life putting on those cleats. That's just rude. I mean, that is rude, my friend. But you know what? Why don't you come over? Why don't you come over? We'll have some dinner. We'll have a couple drinks. We'll share a pipe. And it'll all be better in the morning, okay? Now, I want you to think about how you would speak to your most vulnerable friend. And that tone and those words and those inspirational messages should be precisely what come out of your mouth to the mirror every morning. Every morning. Say good morning. Listen, it's okay. It's okay. One of the wonderful crew that I worked with this Sunday, her name is Lisa, and she came out to be an extra, and when she wasn't being an extra, she helped in every way that she could. And that's kind of what you do on the first shoot. You help out when you can. And Lisa came out and she had painted something up for the commercial. Again, I can't tell you what it is, but she was painting something. So she had a can of white paint. And bless her heart, she was moving everything around in her car to just jam more stuff. I mean, you know, we had a truck full of props, and it was all, you know, fit into 3 volunteers' vehicles. It was an amazing thing. I mean, it wasn't even like a film production. It was like a family reunion with a script, and it was really cool. So bless her heart, Lisa was painting something. She had the can of paint in her car. She knocked it over. I'm ready to pack my stuff, ready to move on to the next shoot. We've got to stop and get some props to our next, you know, location and whatnot. And bless her heart, the paint can knocked over, paint's all over her car. It's dripping on the streets of New York. We're just like, ah. Half our party goes on. They set up the next shoot. They got the cameraman. We're blocking a person behind us. We've got paint everywhere. And it was just one of those things where you're like, ah. So in that moment, my most vulnerable person in the world, she just looked like, a child that reached for a cookie jar and shattered the whole family heirloom. And bless her heart, I sat there and I said, listen, it's going to be okay. This is not a problem. It's water soluble. Please, God, let it be water soluble. Oh, it's going to wash off. Look, it only hit the plastic parts of your car. She's got this wonderful SUV. It's really designed for rugged stuff. So we got some paper towels. I mean, people were so nice. The location manager was really nice. He let us in again to use the bathroom even after he closed up. And just a wonderful thing. And the words I used, there's a certain tone, there's a certain encouragement. And I want you to focus on that. The next time you're having a really rough day, I want you to sit down and just say, look, me, listen, myself and I got together and we got to sit down and talk to you, buddy. It's okay. It's okay. You're freaking out, man. You're freaking out. You're yelling at us all the time, brother. It's okay. My friend, it's going to be okay. All right, let's sit down. Let's have some dinner. Let's eat, let's have a drink, a little smoke, maybe a nap. Don't underestimate naps. So be patient. I'm getting a little verbose, but I think it'll be fun because you're waiting for another. Isn't that cool? Look at that. Oh, all right, I'll tell you a little secret. Shameless April in love. Welcome back from the Bahamas, darling. This is a black light. I got it at Walmart. Damn the man. For $20. For $20, isn't it? And it looks just like a lightsaber if you hold it off camera. And what's funny is that you could barely see the black light because I've got 6 other lights in this room blaring just so you can see stuff. So that's a lot of fun. Fun news. Cards Against Humanity officially announced their last holiday bullshit campaign. It's 8 sensible gifts for Hanukkah or some shit. I don't know. It's like $15 a pop. Last time I saw it, it was under 50,000 left out of 125,000. So shameless corporate whoredom. I'll write a book on it. Great grandchild. Don't worry. It'll be fun. So that's kind of my update. It's also a blended sermon, a little bit of ranting, a little bit of object lesson. You deal with it what you want, really. I mean, frankly, if you've made it into 18 minutes of my rambling, either you're falling asleep because you love the insane ASMR or, I don't know, something might be wrong with you. I'll talk to you soon.